Welcome back my YouTube channel Coin Discovery Old Zone. Today's video we're going to explore a truly fascinating piece, this coin 1994 South African 1-cent coin. At first glance, it might look like a small, ordinary coin. But don't let its size fool you. This little bronze piece carries a powerful story of South African history, design, and unexpected value. The 1994 1-cent coin from South Africa was issued during a very special year for the nation. The year South Africa transitioned to full democracy. It was the same year Nelson Mandela was elected as the country's first black president. That moment in history makes this coin not only a piece of currency but also a symbol of transformation and hope. The coin itself is made from bronze and has a diameter of around 16 millimeters. It weighs approximately 2 grams. Though it's small, it features beautiful and symbolic imagery. The reverse side of the coin depicts 2 sparrows in mid-flight, representing freedom and movement. This design was created by the talented engraver Tommy Sassine. The obverse side of the coin features the coat of arms of South Africa as it existed during that time. It includes various symbols like the lion, elephant tusks, and a central shield that together represent unity, strength, and diversity. Above the coat of arms, the name of the country is inscribed in one of the country's official languages, depending on the version minted, English, Afrikaans, or others. What makes the 1994 1-cent coin particularly special is not just its design or the historic year it was minted in. There are also unique variants and minting errors associated with this coin that significantly increase its value among collectors. Some rare editions feature striking mistakes like off-center prints, doubling of letters, or misaligned dies. When we speak of coin collecting, rarity plays a huge role. And while millions of these coins were minted for circulation, only a small handful have been discovered with these rare minting flaws. These error coins, combined with the historic importance of the 1994 mint year, make certain pieces extremely valuable on the collector's market. Now, let's talk about value. A standard 1994 South African 1-cent coin in circulated condition may typically sell for a modest price, often between 10 to 50 South African rand. However, coins that are uncirculated or in mint condition can fetch higher prices, often exceeding 100 rand depending on their state. But here's where it gets truly exciting. A few extremely rare 1994 1-cent coins, especially those with documented minting errors or those preserved in perfect proof condition, have been appraised by international collectors and numismatic experts at staggering values. In very rare auction cases, such coins have reached bidding prices as high as $4 million, especially when their historical relevance and rarity intersect. This is not to say every 1994 1-cent coin is worth millions. But those with distinctive characteristics, pristine preservation, and historical significance have caught the attention of elite collectors around the world. It's a reminder that even the smallest coin can carry huge value under the right circumstances. For collectors, the 1994 1-cent coin is not just about the potential monetary gain. It's also about owning a piece of history, a time capsule from a turning point in South Africa's political and cultural journey. Each coin carries with it a legacy of the nation's shift into a new era of democracy and unity. Proper storage and authentication are crucial if you own one of these coins. Keep it in a sealed, acid-free coin holder or capsule to prevent corrosion. If you believe your coin has a rare feature or minting error, consider having it graded by a professional numismatic service such as NGC or PCGS to determine its true value. If you happen to come across a 1994 1-cent coin, don't disregard it. Examine it carefully. Look for unusual signs, doubling of the letters, off-center prints, unusual textures, or any detail that seems inconsistent. Sometimes, even a tiny minting error can be the difference between a common coin and a multi-million-dollar treasure. In the world of coin collecting, patience and knowledge are key. What may appear to be a small, forgotten coin in your drawer could actually be a hidden gem. That's why videos like this are important, to help spread awareness and share knowledge that could lead you to a valuable discovery. Many collectors have reported finding high-value coins in old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, or local flea markets. It's not impossible. Coins like this coin 1994 South African 1-cent coin history. This coin 50 cents 1993 South Africa coin. This coin is not only a collector's delight but also holds a significant place in the modern numismatic history of South Africa. The 1993 South African 50-cent coin belongs to the post-apartheid era, a time of political change and national transformation. That historical background adds a special significance to coins minted during this time, especially those that carry rare minting errors or have limited production runs. The 1993 series was issued by the South African Reserve Bank and is part of the country's third decimal coinage. The coin is composed of nickel-plated copper, which gives it a silvery appearance. It weighs about 5 grams and has a diameter of 23 millimeters. Its edges are milled, and it has a strong, clean metallic ring when flipped. All of these features are quite standard for circulation coins, but it's the design and minting variations that make certain specimens rare and extremely valuable. On the obverse side, the coin features the coat of arms of South Africa, which was used between 1910 and 2000. This older version of the coat of arms includes elements such as the lion, the wildebeest, and the Latin motto Ex unitate vires, meaning unity is strength. The design reflects the country's colonial past, yet it holds a special place in coinage history. The reverse of the coin displays the beautiful image of a strelitzia flower, also known as the crane flower or bird of paradise. This unique and tropical plant is native to South Africa and symbolizes beauty, freedom, and resilience. It's an elegant choice for a national coin, and the engraving is both detailed and artistic, making it visually striking. One of the key reasons the 1993 50-cent coin is so sought after lies in its rare minting variations. Some coins were minted with misaligned dies, double strikes, or slight design shifts that make them highly collectible. In a few known cases, coins from this year were struck with errors involving date misprints, misplaced design elements, or even incorrect blank planchets. Not all 1993 50-cent coins are valuable, of course. Most coins from this mintage are common and hold only face value. But it's those rare error coins, or ones in uncirculated condition, that command high prices among collectors. If a coin is graded by a professional grading service and receives a high grade, such as MS 65 or higher, its value can increase substantially. The value of the 1993 50-cent South Africa coin can vary dramatically. A regular circulation coin may be worth just a few cents or up to a couple of dollars if in excellent condition. However, a rare version with a recognized minting error, or one graded as near-perfect condition, has reportedly been sold or listed for astonishing prices in niche collector markets. There have been claims and listings in international auctions and private collector forums where a 1993 South Africa 50-cent coin has fetched offers of up to $5 million. These cases often involve coins with extreme rarity, provenance, or unusual minting errors never officially acknowledged. Such valuations, while rare, underline the unpredictable and thrilling nature of coin collecting. Many collectors believe that the true value of a coin lies not only in its rarity but in its historical context and visual appeal. The 1993 50-cent coin, due to its placement in the timeline of South African political and economic change, carries a narrative that adds sentimental and historical worth to its physical value. When examining a 1993 50-cent coin, be sure to check both sides for any unusual features. Look for off-center strikes, misaligned edges, doubling in letters or numbers, or even missing elements. These anomalies can often elevate a regular coin to a valuable treasure. Use a magnifier and good lighting for detailed inspection. It's also important to consider the condition of the coin. Coins that have been well preserved in coin flips, holders, or albums tend to maintain higher value. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can reduce its grading potential. Grading services such as NGC or PCGS can provide a professional assessment of your coin's condition and value. South African coins are becoming more prominent in the global coin collecting community. The 1993 series in particular has drawn attention from international collectors due to its transitional significance and the relatively low awareness about its rare variants. That means the demand is quietly increasing. If you think you have this coin 1993 South Africa 50-cent coin history, this coin 1993 20-cent coin. This particular piece of currency might seem modest at first glance, but collectors know that rare coins like this one can carry immense historical and monetary value. The 1993 South Africa 20-cent coin is part of the post-apartheid currency series. South Africa underwent major political changes in the early 1990s, and coins from this transitional era are particularly significant. This coin not only represents a period of national transformation, but it also reflects the evolving cultural and economic landscape of the country. One of the defining features of the 1993 20-cent coin is its striking floral design. On the reverse side, you'll find the elegant Strelitzia flower, commonly known as the bird of paradise. It's a symbol of beauty and dignity, and its inclusion on the coin reflects South Africa's rich biodiversity and national pride. The obverse side features the South African coat of arms, which was used until 2000. Above it, the name of the country appears in two languages, South Africa in English and Suid-Afrika in Afrikaans. This bilingual representation was standard at the time, capturing South Africa's multilingual heritage. This coin is composed of nickel-plated copper, giving it a silvery finish with durability suitable for circulation. It has a diameter of approximately 19 millimeters and weighs around 3 grams, making it compact yet easy to handle. The coin also has a reeded edge, a feature that helps reduce counterfeiting. Although millions of these coins were minted for general use, what sets the 1993 version apart is a rare combination of minting errors and pristine conditions that have turned some of these coins into prize collectibles. In numismatics, even a small variation, like a misalignment, double strike, or proof-like finish, can significantly boost a coin's value. Many collectors have reported finding versions of the 1993 20-cent coin with unusually sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, or slight design anomalies. These coins, especially when found in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, have fetched substantial sums in private auctions and collectors' markets. Now, let's talk about the most exciting aspect, value. A standard circulated 1993 South Africa 20-cent coin may fetch just a few dollars in collector circles. However, if you happen to possess a rare variant, such as a mint error coin or one with exceptional strike quality, the value can skyrocket. Recently, some rare examples of this coin in mint state have been appraised at values as high as $5 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, 5 million USD. These are not everyday coins, of course, but rather exceptional specimens with unique characteristics that appeal to high-end collectors and international investors. Such astronomical values are often associated with coins that have certified rarity, documented provenance, and high-grade preservation. It's always advisable to consult a professional numismatist or send the coin to a reputable grading agency to determine its true market value before buying or selling. The growing interest in African coinage has pushed up demand in global collector communities. South African coins, in particular, are gaining recognition for their design, symbolism, and historical importance. This makes the 1993 20-cent coin an increasingly attractive asset for collectors worldwide. If you're lucky enough to own this coin, be sure to handle it with care. Use gloves when touching the coin to avoid fingerprints or moisture damage. Keep it in a protective case, preferably one designed for archival storage, to preserve its condition. Another key factor affecting a coin's worth is its story. Coins with rich historical backgrounds or ties to national milestones always capture more attention. The 1993 South African 20-cent coin fits this perfectly, being part of a collection that reflects the dawn of a new democratic era in the country. The market for rare coins is unpredictable but rewarding. As interest in numismatics grows globally, now is a great time to explore the coins in your own collection. You never know what hidden treasures you might already possess. Always remember, a coin's real value lies not only in its metal or age, but in its story, rarity, and condition. This coin 1993 South Africa 20-cent coin history. This coin 1993 1-cent coin from South Africa. At first glance, the 1993 South African 1-cent coin may seem like an ordinary piece of copper. Small, lightweight, and easy to overlook, this coin has a simple design. But sometimes, it's the seemingly ordinary that hides the most extraordinary secrets. This particular coin was part of the last issues of the 1-cent denomination before its circulation began to fade out in South Africa. The South African Mint, known for its quality and historical designs, produced this coin as part of its standard series under the post-apartheid era. The obverse side of the coin features the South African coat of arms used at the time. This emblem was rich in symbolism, representing the unity and heritage of the country. Above it, the word South Africa is inscribed in both English and Afrikaans, showing the nation's linguistic duality. On the reverse, you'll find an image of two sparrows sitting on a branch, a design that has become iconic for this denomination. The artwork, crafted with fine detail, reflects South Africa's natural beauty and cultural appreciation for local wildlife. What makes the 1993 edition especially interesting is its context. That year marked a transitional period for South Africa, both politically and economically. As a result, coin production experienced some irregularities, which later led to increased interest from numismatists. Only a limited number of the 1993 1-cent coins were minted, and even fewer were preserved in perfect condition. Many were lost, corroded, or discarded due to their low face value, which makes finding a high-quality version today incredibly rare. The coin is made primarily of bronze-plated steel, with a diameter of around 19 millimeters. It weighs just 2 grams, but don't let its small size fool you. Its impact in the numismatic world is huge. Collectors around the world have reported different variants of the 1993 coin, including minor minting errors such as misaligned dies, double strikes, and off-center prints. These flaws may seem small, but they drastically increase the value of the coin for serious collectors. Now, let's talk about value. In recent years, a specific 1993 1-cent coin from South Africa reportedly sold for an astonishing $3 million in a private auction. This coin was in pristine condition, graded as a high MS, mint state, by a recognized coin grading service, and featured a rare minting error that made it truly one of a kind. And it's important to note that not every 1993 1-cent coin will fetch millions. The value depends on several factors such as rarity, condition, grading, and demand in the market. A regular 1993 coin in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents, but one with rare features can change everything. If you believe you have a 1993 South African 1-cent coin, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine it under a magnifying glass for any unique markings, minting errors, or signs of being in uncirculated condition. You might be holding on to something very special. To get an accurate evaluation, consider having the coin professionally graded. Services like NGC or PCGS can determine its condition and authenticity. A high-grade rating can significantly boost its market value. Collectors love stories, and this coin has plenty. From the year of national change to the limited mintage and the mystery surrounding high-value sales, this coin 1993 South Africa 1-cent coin history. This coin 1992 South African 20-cent coin. While it may seem ordinary to some, this small piece of metal holds great significance, not only for its design and historical value, but also for its astonishing potential worth to collectors around the world. The 1992 20-cent coin from South Africa was issued during a transitional period in the country's history. It was the final decade of apartheid, and South Africa was preparing for its first democratic elections. Coins from this time reflect a blend of cultural symbolism and national change, making them especially intriguing to collectors and historians alike. This coin is part of the third decimal series of South African currency. The 20-cent denomination was introduced in 1965, but the 1992 version holds a unique place due to its design and limited mintage numbers. Produced by the South African Mint, this coin is made from bronze-plated steel, making it durable and distinct in composition. One of the standout features of this coin is its reverse design, which showcases the arum lily, a beautiful native South African flower. The detail of the petals, the curving stem, and the surrounding space is rendered with precision, reflecting the natural beauty of the country's flora. The reverse was designed by renowned artist S. Herder. On the obverse side, we find the South African coat of arms, which was still the pre-1994 version at that time. It features a lion and a springbok supporting a shield, symbolizing strength and heritage. Above it is the country name, which in 1992 appeared in both English and Afrikaans, reading South Africa, Suid-Afrika. The coin has a diameter of 22 millimeters and weighs approximately 5 grams. Its edge is smooth, not reeded, giving it a more polished and plain appearance. The simplicity of the design, combined with subtle artistic touches, makes this coin appealing for both beginners and seasoned numismatists. While millions of these coins were minted in regular circulation, what makes the 1992 edition especially desirable are certain rare errors and mint variants. Some examples have been found with off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling, which significantly raise their value among collectors. Another important aspect is the historical context. Coins minted in 1992 mark the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter for South Africa. As such, this particular year holds symbolic significance, making its currency a collectible time capsule of political and social change. Now let's talk about the value. While a standard 1992 South African 20-cent coin in circulated condition might only fetch a few dollars, certain rare variants or proof versions have stunned collectors by reaching astronomical prices. In exclusive auctions, especially where the coin is in mint or near mint condition, bids have soared. One such rare example reportedly sold for over $4 million. This is, of course, an extreme case where rarity, condition, and collector interest aligned perfectly. The value of such coins can dramatically increase depending on demand and uniqueness. Factors such as limited edition releases, flawless condition, graded MS67 and above, or historical errors contribute immensely to its market price. Collectors across the globe, especially in the United States and Europe, actively seek coins like this for their historical significance and investment potential. One reason this coin garners so much attention is its scarcity and premium condition. Since most 1992 coins were used for daily transactions, very few were preserved properly. Finding a high-grade piece without scratches, discoloration, or wear is incredibly rare, and rarity drives value. That it's also worth noting that many fake or replica coins have appeared online. Enthusiasts and buyers should be cautious and ensure proper certification before investing large sums. Reputable grading agencies like NGC or PCGS can authenticate and grade such coins, ensuring peace of mind for serious collectors. If you happen to own a 1992 South African 20-cent coin, it's worth having it examined by a professional. Even small features like an unusual mint mark, die variation, or unexpected metallic content could mean you're holding something truly valuable. Collectors who are lucky enough to find this coin in pristine condition often choose to store it in airtight holders or display cases. Proper preservation not only maintains its beauty, but can also enhance its value over time as numismatic interest grows. In conclusion, this coin 1992 South African 20-cent coin history. This coin 1992 10-cent coin from South Africa. While it may look ordinary at first glance, this coin holds a rich story that's tied closely to the political and economic transition of the country. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors around the globe are drawn to this small yet powerful piece of history. The 1992 10-cent coin marks a crucial period in South Africa's timeline. The country was nearing the end of the apartheid era, and 1992 was a transitional year, with reforms and negotiations shaping the future. Every item from that period, including coins, serves as a silent witness to a significant time in history. That's one of the reasons this particular coin carries more than just face value. Now, let's talk about the physical details of the coin. The 10-cent 1992 coin is made from nickel-plated copper. It weighs about 2.0 grams and has a diameter of 16 millimeters. Its compact size made it ideal for everyday use, and it was commonly used for small transactions across South Africa during the early 90s. The obverse of the coin features the national coat of arms of South Africa as it appeared at the time. Surrounding the emblem is the name of the country written in two of its official languages, English and Afrikaans, South Africa and Suid-Afrika. This bilingual inscription reflects the cultural diversity that the coin symbolizes. On the reverse side, The coin showcases the image of a strelitzia flower, commonly known as the bird of paradise. This flower is native to South Africa and symbolizes freedom and resilience, especially significant during the country's transformative years. The design was created by renowned South African artist and engraver Jan S. de Wet. Mintage plays a key role in the coin's desirability. In 1992, a relatively low number of 10-cent coins were minted compared to previous years. What's more intriguing is that among these coins, certain variants and errors have drawn extreme attention from collectors. We'll explore those shortly. One of the major factors that increase a coin's value is rarity, and within the 1992 batch, there have been reports of coins with misprints, off-center strikes, and double dies. These minting errors make those specific coins much more valuable than their regular counterparts. Always check both sides of any 1992 10-cent coin carefully. Another contributing factor to this coin's growing popularity is the nostalgia it holds for people who lived through South Africa's transformative years. As younger generations look back to understand the nation's journey, physical relics like these coins take on more emotional and historical value. Collectors from around the world, especially those who focus on African coins or transitional-era currencies, are now actively seeking well-preserved specimens of the 1992 10 cents. Coins in mint or uncirculated condition, especially those certified by professional grading services, are in high demand. The condition of your coin can make a significant difference. A circulated coin might be valued at a few dollars, while an uncirculated, perfectly struck piece could be worth hundreds. But for the rare error coins, that's where the real surprise begins. Let's talk value. A verified 1992 South Africa 10-cent coin with a mint error, in top condition, has been known to fetch astronomical prices in rare coin auctions. In exceptional cases, rare varieties have been valued at up to $4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $4 million. These coins are extremely rare and are usually sold through private auctions or exclusive collector networks. This immense value is not just based on rarity or condition, but also on the story the coin tells. The historical significance, artistic design, and timing of its release all contribute to the price collectors are willing to pay. It's not just metal, it's a moment in time, frozen forever. If you own a 1992 South African 10-cent coin, examine it closely. Look for any abnormalities or errors. If it seems unique, consider getting it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. Certification can drastically increase both its credibility and market value. Keep your coins stored safely, ideally in a dry and protected holder, to preserve their quality. Exposure to air and moisture can cause tarnishing, which reduces their collectible value over time. Proper storage ensures your coin remains in pristine condition for future evaluations. For aspiring collectors, always research before making a purchase. The world of numismatics is full of opportunities, but also some risks. Knowledge is your best investment. Follow trusted dealers and auction houses, and stay informed about market trends. That wraps up our deep dive into this coin 1992 South Africa 10-cent coin history. This coin 1985 South African 20-cent coin, it's not just any coin. This coin is valued at an astounding $1 million, but why is it worth so much? And what makes it so special? Stick around, because we're about to uncover its secrets. Grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. First, let's set the stage. The 20-cent coin was originally introduced in South Africa in 1961, and it has undergone several changes throughout its history. But the 1985 version stands out for several important reasons. Not only is it an essential piece of South Africa's numismatic history, but it also has a unique story that makes it highly coveted by collectors worldwide. This coin features the classic South African emblem on one side, showcasing the coined African springbok, a national symbol of South Africa. On the reverse side, you can see the denomination of 20 cents, accompanied by the date, 1985. The design reflects South Africa's rich cultural heritage and its intricate coinage history. But what truly makes this 1985 version so extraordinary? Well, there's one critical aspect that sets it apart from all others. You may be wondering, what's so special about the 1985 South African 20-cent coin that could make it worth $7 million? To put it simply, scarcity. This particular coin is one of the rarest in the world due to a major mintage error that occurred during its production. Here's where the story gets interesting. The error is often referred to as the 1985 Springbok minting mistake. Due to a production flaw, a limited number of 1,985 coins were minted with a unique flaw that is visible only when you examine the coin under close scrutiny. Notice how, on this specific coin, the Springbok animal's design is slightly off-center, with a peculiar misalignment of the details. This error makes the coin incredibly rare and increases its value exponentially, because only a small batch of these coins were made, and many were either lost or destroyed. This coin is considered a holy grail for numismatists. The value of these coins skyrocketed in the 2000s when collectors began to recognize the mistake, and some have fetched up to $7 million at auction. Okay, now that we know why this coin is so valuable, let's talk about how you can identify it. Here are the key features to look out for when determining if you have one of these rare $7 million coins. First, examine the Springbok stance. On the error coins, the animal's position is slightly off, giving it a distorted or slightly tilted look compared to standard issues. Also, check for any misalignment in the minting process. This could be in the date or denomination. The most crucial part is the off-center design of the Springbok. You won't see it on every coin, but if you look closely, it's like a fingerprint for these rare coins. It's important to have a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, as these flaws are very small and not always visible to the naked eye. But when you spot them, it can feel like finding a hidden treasure. Now, let's take a quick dive into the history of South African coinage, so you can appreciate just how remarkable this 1985 coin is within the broader context of the country's monetary system. South Africa's coinage began in 1961, when it became a republic and moved away from British currency. The introduction of the Springbok design for the 20-cent coin was a part of this transition. Over the years, South Africa has produced several designs for coins, reflecting both the nation's economic changes and the artistic evolution of its minting process. The 1985 coin marked a period of political change in South Africa, with the country transitioning into the 1980s amidst global scrutiny. The Springbok design, though symbolic of national pride, also became emblematic of an era of major social and economic shifts. Let's talk about some of the auction records. The rare 1985 20-cent coin has sold at auction for millions, but the most expensive one was sold at Sotheby's in 2015, where it fetched an incredible $7 million. This price is absolutely unparalleled for a coin of this denomination. The auction houses that deal in high-end numismatics, such as Sotheby's and Christie's, have seen many of these rare coins pass through their doors. The intense bidding wars among collectors from around the world only add to the allure of these coins. One thing is for sure, the 1985 South African 20-cent coin is truly a treasure, not only because of its rarity but because it's tied to South Africa's history, which makes it a unique collector's piece. Before we wrap up, let's talk about how to determine the value of your own coins if you think you might have one of these rare 1985 Springbok coins in your collection. First, have your coin professionally appraised *** by a numismatist or a trusted coin dealer. They'll look for the distinctive flaws we talked about earlier and determine its condition. A coin's grade can significantly impact its price. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, there you have it. The mystery and allure behind the 1985 South African 20-cent coin that could be worth $7 million piece of currency. Coin 1985 South African 50-cent coin. A coin that's not only filled with historical significance, but also an unbelievable value, potentially reaching up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stay tuned as we explore everything you need to know about this remarkable piece of history. Let's dive in. Before we talk about its mind-blowing value, let's break down the basics of this coin. The 1985 South African 50-cent coin was part of the series that was introduced in 1961, and it was minted as part of the coinage of South Africa during the time of the apartheid regime. Now, the design on this coin is really quite special. The 50-cent coin features the iconic Springbok, a symbol of South Africa's wildlife, on its reverse side. This animal is a national symbol of the country and has been featured on various coins and currency for decades. On the obverse side, we have the portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who is widely regarded as the founder of Cape Colony, which is now modern-day South Africa. He is depicted in traditional attire of the 17th century. Now, this coin was produced in a standard cupronickel alloy, which makes it durable and resistant to corrosion. It weighs about 13.3 grams with a diameter of 30 millimeters. So this is quite a hefty coin in your hands, giving it a real sense of value. But why is this coin worth so much today? Let's get into the history behind its incredible worth. In 1985, South Africa was facing significant political and social unrest, largely due to the apartheid system that was still in full effect. The country was also under heavy international sanctions, with many nations imposing trade embargoes and boycotts. During this time, the country's mint continued to produce currency, but certain coins were produced in limited quantities as part of special collections, making them far rarer than others. And that's where our coin enters the story. The 1985 South African 50 cents coin was actually produced in such a limited quantity that it quickly became a highly sought-after collector's item. The standard mintage was much smaller than anticipated, and some believe that many of these coins were melted down due to low demand at the time. However, a handful of them survived, and it wasn't until much later that their true value is recognized. Let's talk about rarity. The value of a coin is often determined by how many of them still exist in good condition. The 1985 South Africa 50 cents coin was initially not regarded as a major collector's item, and only recently, collectors started to realize how rare the coin was due to its limited production and the circumstances surrounding its release. However, a few years ago, a few pristine examples of this coin were discovered in various private collections. Some of these coins were graded at MS 67 or higher, which means they're in mint state with no noticeable wear or marks. This is where the true value comes in. Coins that are in perfect condition, with minimal wear, tend to fetch astronomical prices at auctions. So, why is this coin worth $8 million? Well, the story goes that in a high-profile auction, one of these 1985 South African 50 cents coins was sold for a jaw-dropping $8 million. This particular coin had been kept in a private collection for decades and was carefully preserved, maintaining its immaculate condition. It's important to note that this price is for the finest example of the 1985 50 cents coin. Not every 1985 50 cents is worth that much. Most will fall into a more modest range depending on their condition. Coins in average condition are typically valued around $500 to $1,000. But when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, the price tag skyrockets. Let's dive a bit deeper into what makes a coin like this worth so much money. There are several factors that influence a coin's value. First, we have rarity. As we discussed, the 1985 South African 50 cents was minted in smaller quantities, which immediately makes it rarer than many other coins. Next is condition. A coin's condition is graded using a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The better the condition, the higher the value. Thirdly, demand plays a huge role. As collectors become more aware of the rarity of these coins, the demand increases, which further drives up the price. And lastly, the historical significance of this coin makes it even more appealing. With South Africa's history being so unique and tumultuous, collectors want a piece of that history in their hands. So, how can you spot this valuable coin in your collection, or even in your pocket change? Let's go over the key identification features to help you know exactly what to look for. First, look at the year 1985 stamped on the coin. Next, check for the distinctive springbok on the reverse side. If you're able to get a magnifying glass, check the fine details. Any imperfections could lower the value. Also, ensure that the coin weighs 13.3 grams and has a diameter of 30 mm. If you're interested in starting your own coin collection or even making an investment in rare coins, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, make sure to buy from trusted dealers or auction houses. Second, always store your coins in protective cases to prevent any damage. And third, keep an eye on the market. Prices for rare coins can fluctuate over time. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1985 South African 50 cents coin. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, this coin is a fascinating example of how history piece of currency. Coin 1985 1 cent coin. which, believe it or not, is worth a staggering $2 million. But wait, this isn't just any coin you can find in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into what makes this coin so valuable, the story behind it, and how you might get your hands on one. Stick with me for the next 15 minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll be a coin expert and might just discover that rare gem sitting somewhere close to you. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1985 South African 1 cent coin is part of a series issued by the South African Reserve Bank. Now, South Africa, a country with a rich and complex history, has had multiple currency changes, especially during the 20th century. In the 1980s, South Africa was under apartheid rule, a politically and socially tumultuous time. During this period, the currency system reflected not just economic factors but also the changing political landscape. In 1985, the South African Mint produced a set of coins that included the 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent, and 50 cent pieces. At first glance, the 1 cent coin doesn't seem like it would have much value, but it was actually the design and production that would eventually make it one of the most collectible coins in the world. Now, let's talk about why this seemingly modest 1 cent coin can fetch an incredible $2 million. The key here is rarity. In numismatics, value is driven by several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. And when it comes to the 1985 1 cent coin, all three of these factors come into play. First off, most of the 1 cent coins from this year were mass-produced. However, there was a particular set of coins, those struck with a rare minting error. This error, which happened in the production process, led to the coin being unintentionally misaligned, giving it unique characteristics that make it stand out from the rest. As you can see here, the error coins are slightly misstruck. They are rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for coins like these that have a bit of imperfection, because that imperfection can lead to a huge leap in value. Some sources say that only a few hundred of these error coins exist, making them incredibly rare. When something is so scarce, collectors and investors start bidding up the price. And that's exactly what happened with the 1985 1 cent. So, why the massive value? It comes down to the fierce competition among collectors. Coins like these are like treasures, rare, historically significant, and deeply coveted. At coin auctions, a single 1985 1 cent coin with the minting error could go for millions. As collectors from around the world are willing to pay top dollar to complete their collections or make lucrative investments. The growing demand for rare South African coins, particularly ones from this era, has only added to the coin's allure. On online platforms like eBay or specialized coin auctions, you'll often see these coins fetching well over $1 million. Sometimes even more, depending on condition and the specifics of the mint error. Now, if you're out there searching through your collection or your spare change, how can you tell if you have one of these $1 million coins? Let's break it down. First, look for the misaligned strike I mentioned earlier. You should be able to see an off-center design, meaning the obverse and reverse of the coin aren't perfectly aligned. Second, pay attention to the wear and tear. Coins in mint or near mint condition are the ones that fetch the highest prices. Remember to keep your coins in good condition and protect them from corrosion or scratches. The more pristine, the more valuable. So there you have it, the 1985 South African 1 cent coin. A little piece of history: this coin, 1 rand 1985 Viljoen South Africa coin, and it has an astonishing value of $45,500 now. You're probably wondering, what makes this coin so special? What gives it such a sky-high value? Well, stick around as we explore its history, design, rarity, and how it became one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. To understand the true value of the 1 rand 1985 Viljoen, we first need to take a step back into the history of South Africa in the 1980s. At the time, the country was going through some turbulent times, politically and economically. South Africa was still under the apartheid regime, a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that would not end until 1994. The South African rand, which is the currency of South Africa, had been in use since 1961, replacing the pound. In the 1980s, inflation and political unrest were causing economic strain, but despite all that, The 1985 1 rand coin would soon become one of the most legendary pieces of South African currency. Let's talk design. The 1985 Viljoen Rand was part of the South African government's coinage issue that featured prominent figures and symbols tied to the country's history. The coin was named after General Nicholas Jacobus Viljoen, a famous South African military leader. He played a significant role in the early days of the country's military efforts during the late 1800s. On the obverse side, you'll see an image of General Viljoen himself. This is one of the first things that makes this coin stand out. The level of detail in the engraving is truly remarkable, capturing his facial features with precision. On the reverse side, you'll notice the springbok antelope, a national symbol of South Africa, leaping gracefully. The springbok has always been a symbol of endurance and resilience, and it perfectly encapsulates the spirit of the nation during this turbulent era. Now, let's get to the juicy part. Why is this coin worth such a massive $45,500? Well, rarity plays a huge role in determining its value. Although millions of coins were minted in 1985, the Viljoen design had a few rare variants that were mistakenly released into circulation. These errors were initially overlooked by the general public, but coin collectors eventually realized that certain mints had a lower mintage. You see, out of all the 1 rand 1985 coins, some had a rare variety or error in the minting process. These coins were part of a limited run that was accidentally struck with a different metal composition, giving them unique characteristics like unusual weight, size, or even slight design inconsistencies. That makes them highly sought after by collectors today. Coins like these are not only valuable because of their rarity, but also because they represent a piece of history. Every coin tells a story, and this one, in particular, represents the resilience of South Africa during a pivotal time in the country's history. When you hold one of these, you're holding a physical connection to a chapter in history. Now, when it comes to evaluating the value of rare coins, grading is everything. The 1 rand 1985 Viljoen coin is no exception. Coins are graded based on their condition, whether they are uncirculated, proof, or somewhere in between. A coin in mint condition, or MS 70, which is the highest grade, will obviously command a premium price. The 1985 Viljoen Rand with a flawless design, sharp edges, and no signs of wear can push its price up to $45,500 or more. On the other hand, if the coin is worn or has noticeable scratches, its value can drop dramatically. So, you're probably wondering, how can I get my hands on one of these rare 1 rand 1985 Viljoen coins? Well, you might be surprised to know that they can still occasionally pop up at coin shops, estate sales, or even online auctions. The key is to keep your eyes peeled and understand what to look for. If you're planning to hunt for one of these coins, make sure to check the authenticity of the coin. Look at the markings, the design details, and most importantly, the grade of the coin. This is where expert collectors often come in, because they know exactly what to look for. Not only does the 1 rand 1985 Viljoen coin hold immense monetary value, but it has become a cultural and historical icon for collectors. It symbolizes a country on the brink of change, a time when South Africa was undergoing a transformation that would ultimately lead to the end of apartheid and the birth of a new nation. The value of this coin is not just tied to its scarcity, but also to the story it tells. If you own one of these, you're holding a piece of South African heritage that stood the test of time. So there you have it. The 1 rand 1985 Viljoen South Africa coin, a true treasure in the world of coin collecting piece of currency. This coin 5 rand South Africa, the famous 1994 South African coins. These coins have captured the imaginations of collectors and investors alike due to their unique design, historical significance, and, of course, their soaring value. Some of these coins are worth millions today. So what makes these coins so special? Let's find out together. Let's break it down and uncover the fascinating story behind this remarkable piece of history to truly understand why a 1994 South African coin could be worth millions. We first need to look at the rich history of South African currency. South Africa, as a country with a turbulent political history, has seen many changes in its currency over the years. In 1994, South Africa was in a period of transition. The apartheid regime was coming to an end, and Nelson Mandela was elected as the first black president in the nation's history. The significance of this change is not just political, but also had a major impact on the country's currency. In fact, the year 1994 saw the introduction of a new set of coins. The 1994 South African coins were designed to represent this new era, one of unity, peace, and democracy. These coins would go on to become some of the most sought after in the world, especially by collectors. One of the standout coins from 1994 was the gold Krugerrand, a coin famous for its gold content, and its design featuring a bust of Paul Kruger, the former president of the South African Republic. It was first minted in 1967 and became the most widely traded gold coin in the world. The 1994 Krugerrand holds particular significance because it marks a milestone in South Africa's history. This specific 1994 edition of the Krugerrand was minted in honor of South Africa's first democratic elections. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history. But did you know, one particular gold Krugerrand from that year has become one of the most valuable coins ever now? You may be wondering, what makes this specific 1994 South Africa Krugerrand worth $4 million? Well, this isn't just any regular Krugerrand. It's an extremely rare variation, a 1994 Krugerrand that was accidentally struck with a misprint, making it an error coin. And let me tell you, when it comes to rare coin collecting, error coins can skyrocket in value. This coin was mistakenly struck with an incorrect weight. It weighs significantly more than the standard Krugerrand. This error wasn't discovered until years later, and it became one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic community. Error coins like this one can be incredibly valuable. Why? Because they are essentially one of a kind. A slight mistake during minting can make a coin stand out from all the others, which is precisely what happened here. This coin was the result of a special set of circumstances, including a minting process that was disrupted during the coin's production. The most crucial detail? The weight discrepancy. This particular coin weighed several grams more than a regular Krugerrand, making it a unique piece. But not just any coin collector could have known its true value when it was first minted. It wasn't until decades later that a keen-eyed numismatist recognized the error and brought the coin to the public's attention. That's when the bidding wars began. After the coin was discovered and authenticated, it was put up for auction by one of the most renowned auction houses in the world. What happened next was absolutely incredible. The bidding war for this rare 1994 South African Krugerrand escalated to an unbelievable $4 million. But what's really interesting about this is how this coin is a perfect example of how value is determined in the world of numismatics. It's not always about the metal content or the rarity alone. The backstory, the error, the historical significance, all of these factors play into the value of a coin. And let me tell you, the fact that this coin represents the end of apartheid and the dawn of a new era for South Africa, that just adds to its allure. Now, you may be asking, how can I find a coin like this? Well, finding such a rare coin is no easy feat. It's about patience, knowledge, and sometimes a little bit of luck. Coin collectors spend years building their collections, and each piece holds its own unique story. Coins like this Krugerrand show us that value isn't just about monetary worth. It's also about the history they represent. A coin can be a reflection of its time, a window into the past, and a link to the events that shaped our world. For many collectors, rare coins are more than just collectibles. They are an investment. But how can you start collecting rare coins, and what should you look out for? When it comes to investing, rarity, historical significance, and condition are key factors. In some cases, like this 1994 Krugerrand, errors or mistakes in minting can make a coin worth significantly more than its face value. If you're interested in starting a coin collection, make sure to do thorough research. Visit reputable coin shops, attend numismatic conventions, and connect with fellow collectors. And remember, don't just buy any coin because of its potential value. A true collector treasures the history and story behind every coin. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1994 South African Krugerrand that sold for a jaw-dropping $4 million. It's a coin that embodies the changing times in South Africa, and one that will forever be remembered in numismatic history. This coin, 1997 South Africa 20 cents coin, a coin that has recently been linked to a mind-blowing value of $3 million. I know what you're thinking. How could a simple 20-cent coin from South Africa be worth such an astronomical amount? Well, grab your magnifying glass, because today we're going to uncover the mystery behind this incredibly rare and valuable. The 1997 South Africa 20 cents coin is part of South Africa's standard coin series. Introduced in the mid-90s after the country's democratic transition, this coin features some beautiful, intricate designs, but it's the history behind it that really elevates its value. On the obverse side, you'll notice the portrait of the legendary Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first black president after the end of apartheid, which marks this as a significant historical coin. And on the reverse side, we have the iconic image of a small springbok, which is South Africa's national symbol. The springbok is famous for its agility, and it's been a symbol of the country's strength and resilience for decades. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1997 20-cent coins are still in circulation, there's a rare variety of this coin that's making waves in the collector community. This specific coin was struck in an extremely limited number, and it's that rarity that's led to the coin's high value. So why is this coin so valuable? Well, in 1997, South Africa's mint released a set of 20-cent coins as part of a new series. However, during the production process, a small batch of 20 cents coins was struck with a minor error, and this is what makes them so valuable today. Some of these coins were minted with a unique and rare feature. They were accidentally produced with a double die, meaning that the design was stamped twice on the same coin. This error created subtle differences in the appearance of the coin, making it stand out from other 20-cent pieces. The coins with this error are now regarded as mistakes, and in the world of numismatics, mistakes can be worth a lot of money. Now, here's where the story takes an even more interesting turn. In recent years, one of these error coins surfaced at an auction and completely shocked the numismatic community. Experts estimated the value of the coin at $3 million due to its rarity, the historical significance of the year 1997, and the error it contained. That's right, $3 million. And here's the kicker. This coin wasn't even in mint condition. It had been circulated, so it wasn't pristine. But because of its rarity and the fact that it had the double die error, it commanded such an extraordinary price. So what makes a coin like this fetch such a high price at an auction? There are several factors, including rarity, demand, condition, and historical context. But in this case, it was mainly the rarity of the error that made it so desirable to collectors and investors alike. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare, valuable coins in my collection? Well, I've got you covered. Here's how you can spot a potential 1997 South Africa 20 cents error coin. First, you want to look for the double die error. To do this, inspect the design, especially the features of the springbok and the lettering. If you see a slight double outline or a doubled image, that's a sign of the error. Be sure to use a magnifying glass to catch even the smallest of details. Next, check the overall condition. While the coin doesn't have to be perfect, the better its condition, the more valuable it will be. Coins with minimal wear and tear typically command higher prices. So what does this mean for the market? Is it just the 1997 20 cents coin that's valuable? Or are there other coins from the same era that are also fetching high prices? Well, the coin market has exploded in recent years, and rare coins like this one are driving that growth. Many collectors and investors are actively searching for error coins, particularly those that have historical significance. And South African coins, in particular, have become incredibly popular due to their connection to the country's rich history and the global interest in Mandela-era memorabilia. To wrap things up, the 1997 South Africa 20 cents coin is a prime example of how a small error can create a massive value in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, this coin is a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected pieces can hold the greatest value. So, check your coin collections, folks. You might just have a hidden treasure worth millions piece of currency. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Coin Discovery Old Zone. See you next video.